All right, Anthony Smith here with Belal Muhammad. Why are you looking so cool?
I don't know. It's like I got dressed now that it's fight week. So they were like, "Yo, you can't wear freaking Crocs and shorts." I'm like, "All right, I'll wear what you guys want me to wear."
I was expecting the Crocs, and I was a little disappointed when you weren't wearing them.
I'm about comfort, but yeah, I gotta, shout out to Lou for hooking me up and dressing me up right now.
There we go. Where'd this fire come from? Because you're always anybody that asks, we've worked together a bunch. Oh, I always tell everybody, Bilal's the nicest guy in the world. He's really sweet. He's a lot of fun to be around. Got a lot of fire though the last couple of weeks, and it's different. It's different.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think this is the moment I've been waiting for my whole life, right? I've been doubted. Nobody thought I would be here. They've been telling me, you don't belong here. You don't deserve to be here. And then to have your opponent and his team tell you that, no, he's not worth it. He's not worth your time. It just fueled me so much where, like, I had enough. To the point where I'm on a 9-5 winning streak. I haven't lost, and they put the stat, it was like 2,000 days or something like that. And I work so hard every day. So for me not to get respected by someone, it's martial arts. Whoever you're fighting, there should be a mutual respect. For him to, like, put my stuff down, and he went through the same situation, and to look at me like, oh, he's not worth my time, that's what pisses me off more than anything.
So have you been holding this in? Or is it just now it's here and it's just coming out?
No, it's like one of those where once the date finally arrived and you finally had that contract,
right,
and then it's like, all right, we have it now.
What did that feel like when that contract came in?
It was
when
surreal.
You seen it?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was like
your name on that piece of paper.
I wanted to cry because you've been there. You know how hard it is to reach that moment, to reach the pinnacle, right? To get to the point of every dream is to fight for the world title,
right?
And to have that in front of me. So when you look back at your journey, the ups, the downs, the losses, everything put me to this moment where I am now. And to finally have it and to, like, say that you achieved it. And to have my family be like, oh, my son's fighting for a world title. It's, like, heartwarming.
Yeah. So, obviously you guys have fought before. And, it ends up being a no result, essentially. Do you feel like you can take anything from that? Because I feel like you guys are different fighters. But you've been in there at the same time. You felt him. He's felt you. You kind of seen his speed. Like, you've been in front of him. That's information that's invaluable. But do you think that you can still use those things now?
One of the biggest things I take from that fight is, like, how I felt afterward. I was, like, shattered. That was my first main event. That was my first time on that platform. But it was the Apex. But it was like you always dream of what your first main event's going to be like. You're on a poster, and then it just gets taken away from you from something like that. And you're like, bro, what is this? This how it's going to end? This will, like, I'm never going to get another shot again. Like, people are going to come at you, say, oh, man, he did this. He pulled out of this. And you're like, people are just dumb. But I know how I felt that day, and I'm like, I never want to feel like that again. Because it felt kind of like a loss because I lost that opportunity. So now I go back to that day, and I never want to feel a loss again. So that's what just fuels me. It pushes me more and more every single day.
So you guys it's been pretty fiery between you two. There's been a lot of – I don't ever look too deep into that stuff because I understand how the fight game works, and it gets heated, and there's a lot on the line for you both. Take all that stuff away. Do you respect him as a fighter?
I don't, because, like you said, that fight, there was a no contest. And then I stepped up on short notice. I took the fight after just fighting Diego Lima, and he needed an opponent. And then I took it on 3 weeks' notice, and he committed the foul. And then he wouldn't give me a rematch. And then he brushed it off like I wasn't worth his time. So if you're
Do you think he believes that, or do you think that he sees something he doesn't like?
I think he doesn't see something he doesn't like. He was in there with me. He felt certain spots. People will say, oh, it was this. He landed one head kick in that fight, and I was still standing. And that was his best move, and it was the first round, and I was still standing up there. Mm-hmm. Our game plan for that fight was to see how he's going to come out in the first round because he was out for 2 years. So we're like, let's start slow, see what he comes out with, see what's happening with him, and then we'll just adjust. And we get better as the fight goes on. So for me, I didn't even get started yet. And he brushed it off, and he told the fans, created a narrative that it was going to happen like this. Fans are fickle. They're going, oh, well, maybe Leon is right. He was just going to walk through him. He landed that head kick. We saw that head kick land. He was going to land 50 more of those. But I've been dropped in my debut, Alan Joban, 4 times in the first 2 rounds. In the 3rd round, I had him on ropes ready to finish. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no give up in me unless the refs pull somebody off or the bell rings.
Does Does it worry you at all that he's been obviously you're a pressure fighter, you're an incredible grappler. I think your striking has looked great lately, but not that it was bad before. It's just it's growing. You're getting better for sure. But does it worry you that he's been obviously 2 fights with Usman back to back, dominant wrestler, pressure guy, then Colby, another kind of dominant wrestler, pressure guy. It's like he's kind of rinse, wash, and repeating if that's what he believes your game plan is going to be. Does it worry you that he's probably grown his wrestling game better in the last couple of years?
Honestly, for me, I don't think none of those two are like me. I feel like my team, the way we strategize, we break down guys better than anybody. And we always come with a different strategy, a different evolution to the game. Like, you see me fight forward. You see me fight backwards. You see me wrestle a guy. You see me just strike with a guy. My last 2 fights, Gilbert Burns and Sean Brady, I didn't shoot 1 takedown.
Right.
We come with a specific game plan, and we take the guys who we're fighting to their weakest points. And we broke down Leon for the last year. My coach is the best at doing that. We see what he's weak at. We see what his rhythms are. We see what his patterns are. So I know everything about him. I've been studying him forever. And I see the mistakes that Usman and Kobe made, and I'm not going to do those same things.
So for, putting our analyst hat on here, if you're going to, obviously I don't want your game plan. I don't want you to disclose any information, but he is a tough guy to beat, right? Like he does have some skills and abilities that are going to be problematic for anybody in the division. Where do you think that you're going to succeed the most in this fight?
I think IQ. For me, I make the right adjustments in between rounds. I make the right adjustments. When I talk to my corners are great at seeing things, and I do those things in the fight. There's not a lot of fighters out here that know how to make adjustments. If plan A doesn't work for them, they had no plan B, plan C. For me, I have a plan A, B, C, and I know how to make those things all happen fluidly. So I feel like when I talk about myself, I feel like I have one of the best IQs in the division, and I see a lot of things during the fight. I know how to slow stuff down during the fight. So I think the difference between me and him is those guys allowed him to fight his fight. I'm not going to allow him to fight that fight.
So, Sunday morning, it's all said and done, dust settles, and you're the champion of the world. What do you think you'll feel like? Like, what do you think you'll sit down and think about, and what does that mean for your journey? Like, where does that put you
Honestly,
in this division?
It just it's more so for my team, right? Because we're a small gym. We've been doing this for the last 10 years. It's been all of our mission. So for me, my coaches, my team, it's gonna be now we get our respect. Now people look at us like, what are they doing in Chicago? When you look at the big best teams in the world, people don't really talk about Chicago. They talk about Florida. They talk about this place, that place, Vegas. But once we win this title out of the small gym, small facility, the coaches aren't the most outlandish. We're not screaming or doing a million interviews. They're going to say, man, we got to go check out what's happening over there.
Do you get a finish?
I feel like I break him and I finish him 100%.
My man. All right, thanks for coming by. Good luck.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.